fact, the crowd outside has just heard that verdict, and we are seeing just a tremendous emotional reaction from some of the people in the crowd. Again, it was probably about 30 seconds to 60 seconds after we announced it on the air that people started getting the alerts on their phone. You could see everybody starting to look down at their phone and getting those updates and finding out that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. We just got word from inside the courtroom that they are proceeding to the punishment phase. And Jobin Puneker, our reporter in the courtroom, says that he saw Karmelo Anthony's mother audibly sobbing in the courtroom after that verdict was read. Again, you can see some of the reaction here from outside the courtroom. We're going to keep an eye on that. But Rebecca, Tanya, I apologize for interrupting you, but I would like to bring you in for just to touch on the emotional toll that this has taken on two families.
Well, Chris, there have been people here that I have seen every single day since I got here during jury selection. Some of them, many of them fought to get into that courtroom so they could see some of the proceedings. And there were people on both sides trying to get those seats, all very emotional, but some people have been here every single day, and so many people on both sides. Austin Metcalf's family and friends wanted justice for him. They felt like he died in a senseless, very horrific way. Then there are the people on Karmelo's Anthony camp who felt like the system was rigged against him because there were three African-American jurors that identified themselves as African-American jurors that were kicked off this jury, that were not picked, I wouldn't say kicked off, but they were not selected as jurors or they did not make the cut. And so people felt that the justice system was just not going to work for Karmelo Anthony. So I suspect that that's some of the emotion that you are seeing here right now in the display.
And Rebecca, you were in that courtroom regardless of, talk to a little bit about the racial makeup of this jury.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that there were no minorities or that it was an all-white jury. That was not the case. There were Asian Americans, there were a lot of women, there was also a Muslim woman, a woman that also, I would say probably 4 Asian Americans. And we don't know because the jury questionnaires are not public record. That was to protect the jury. The judge spent a lot of time trying to protect this jury because there have been threats against people in this case on both sides, and the judge wanted to make sure that the jury was protected, and so a lot of their information was never made public. And we could hear the crowd getting louder and louder, and I'm not sure what this is about, but there have been people out here calling for peace, to tell everybody to please stay calm. But it is a very, very emotional time for people out here.
It is, and I think that, we can see behind us that this crowd is pretty heated, and I was, Rebecca, on the other side of me, I watched as a number of additional Collin County Sheriff's deputies walked up. You obviously can seeing some people being pushed out. I don't know exactly what's going on, but now the crowd is starting to
baby that is
come a little bit towards us.
And again, you've had people out here that are not here because, Chris, they truly wanted to see any of this stuff. They never made it into the courtroom. They never even tried to get into the courtroom. They were here for their own political purposes or whatever. And that is what you're seeing. And now you're seeing people screaming at one another. And the Sheriff's Department, I will say, the Collin County Sheriff's Department has done a very good job of dispersing these crowds. There were a couple of times when they were having clashes, and they immediately got in the middle of them and stopped some of the confrontations. They're going to let them have their free speech. They're going to let them, do what they are going to do, but they are not going to let people get violent, and they have made that very clear.
Well,